Yeah, that was how it had to be, my friends. But it's not how it has to be, right? You can make the choice, you can take the stand, you can embark on the mission of switching things around in your life and switching maneuvering things, or not maneuvering, but placing things in a way in your life to where they make more the most sense or more sense than they are right now. I'm getting right now things in your life are kind of scattered, my friends. You might be fighting with old demons. There might be some old patterns that recently have came into your life via peer pressure or via boredom, my friends. I'm getting that you might be very, if something lately has just been very boring to you, and life has just kind of lost its creative spark, and you might be noticing that everything is just seeming more mundane lately, my friends, and that this is your sign to shake things up. This is your sign to really go for broke, my friend. This is your sign to invest in yourself. This is your sign to put it into motion and really, really, really not care what people's perceptions of whatever you're doing is, or anything you're saying or anything like that. It's time to give that up to the higher power, my friends. Um, because people see and they know, and you can feel how powerful you are, my friends. I can feel how powerful you are, and something's telling me that. And you've always known how powerful you are, my friends, but now it's time to let the world know that. Now it's time to actually put that into motion, to implement how powerful and how strong you are. You know you are. I know you are. The world doesn't know that, and they actually think that you're hesitant to use your powers or to use your intuition, my friends. The world knows you got it. It knows you got it. It's quite clear that you have it, my friends. But what the hurdle is here, and the obstacle is just putting this into use, and that's way easier said than done. I can sit here and say all day, oh, you just got to start it, you just got to do it, you just got to use your gifts, you just got to use your intuition. It's a little bit deeper and a little bit harder than that, my friends. You got to mentally prepare yourself to even start to use your intuition, and what that entails is a lot of dark, lonely nights and days, a lot of dark and lonely periods in your life, a lot of dark souls of the nights. But once you figure out, and once you finally mentally prepare yourself to use your gifts and your powers, my friends, you're gonna start to attract your soul tribe almost instantaneously, my friends. And if it's not instantaneously, it's gonna be the first time whenever they see you next, right? And literally you're gonna look like night and day. I'm not predicting your future. I'm just telling you what could happen if you actually implement your what your purpose is. And that's the hard part, is finding your purpose. But to even get to finding your purpose, my friend, you got to mentally prepare yourself for this. And like I said, it's easier said than done. And 333 on the timer, but easier said than done. And the only way you're going to do it is you got to sit with yourself. You got to sit in that because your conscious mind, my friends, your conscious mind likes to play ringleader. Your conscious mind likes to take the lead, and basically you're well, like, little do you know your subconscious is running the whole show from behind the scenes, my friends. But your conscious mind likes to portray that he's in charge. Your conscious mind likes to give you the memo that it's in charge, my friends, when really it that's what you think about. Your conscious mind is what you can think about, and what you can soberly, consciously think about. But your inherent thoughts, my friends, and your innate thoughts, the thoughts that you cannot control, that are always there perpetually, my friend, those are coming from your subconscious, and you can't control them, my friends. You can't. But something's telling me you're gonna need to start accessing this, your divine intuition, your divine feminine, if you will, and you gotta start putting yourself out there in the way that I know you can, and the way that you know you can, my friend. And like I said, what's going to happen when you start to do this is you're going to attract your soul tribe, and your soul tribe is going to attract you instantaneously, my friends. But you could be a fire sign, my friend. You could be a fire sign, an earth sign. And these people that are coming against you per se, water signs. They are water signs, and they just like to really they call your bluff. They love calling your bluffs. They may nitpick your content to try to find bluffs to call, or any discrepancies that they can bring to light, my friends. They're going to do that. They're going to really and I know why you kind of keep your gifts on the back burner, my friends. I know why you kind of put up a facade and make it seem like you're dumb, right? Make it seem like you're kind of slow. I know why you do that, my friends, because I do the same thing. And that is to protect our fuck, where was I going with that? That is literally just to protect our souls from sometimes the ridicule, my friends. I was going somewhere else with that. I was going way somewhere in a different way than that, but I forgot, my friends, so I'm gonna just keep it rolling with this. These people, these water signs, my friends, they're nitpicking you. They will nitpick you, and they have been nitpicking you. Something's telling me you've been kind of held to a high standard. Not even yourself, my friends. I know you hold yourself to a high standard, my friend. You have very high standards, but the people around you and soon to be people on the internet are going to be judging you, my friends. But the people around you in your life already do judge you. That could be confirmation for someone. And just think very critically of you, my friend. They hold you to some standards that they might not even be abiding by in their own lives, my friends. They might want to vicariously live through you, or since they didn't pursue something in their lifetime, they're gonna try to influence you and make you pursue your, or make you try to basically make their dreams come true, my friend. And so they can vicariously live through you and experience what they could have experienced, but they didn't have the willpower or the determination to start to implement in their own lives, my friends. So they think, so here along comes you, fresh, brand new, clean slate. You might be very attractive, my friends. Well, you are very attractive. You're fucking hot is what I'm getting. And people see that, and people know you're fucking hot. But the thing is, like, how people like to put hot people in a box, and either you're hot and you're an idiot, or you're hot and you're a fucking dickhead. That's the way people like to categorize people with a natural attractiveness, my friends. People who are naturally magnetic are just pretty much always instantly written off as slow or mean, right? And you're none of these things, my friends. Well, you might be a little bit slow and mean, my friends, but who is it, right? Who's not a human? That's what it takes to be a human. Is you got to be a little bit slow and a little bit mean. But no, really though. These people don't really know just how divine you are, my friend, and that's God is sending me to you right now to relay this message to you. You're going to shock yourself, my friend. You're about to shock yourself at what's coming in for you, my friends. This could be in the form of monetary gains, but this could also be in the form of a twin flame, my friends. This could also be in the form of recognition, my friends. This could also be in the form of an award and a prize. This could also be in the form of a contest. You might win a contest. You might get the inclination. You might find a flyer on the ground, my friends. It says State Fair Talent Show, my friends. You might win the State Fair Talent Show. You might someone around you might hit good on a lottery ticket. Might hit fat on a lottery ticket, which that is fucking rare. So if you hit on a scratch off ticket, my friends, you better go get some lottery tickets, because damn, you're lucky if you win on a scratchy. Anyways, my friend, something else is telling me also that to be a little bit more wise on if you like to I'm just gonna be blunt with it, gambling, my friends. You could find yourself getting swahilied or swindiggled or not necessarily scammed, but to a certain extent, I guess it's would be scammed out of your money, my friends. So, and that is it takes on many forms. There could be many forms of this, my friends, but something is telling me you need to be a little bit more wise about your finances and what you wager, my friends. Something telling me your wagers have been you weren't gonna win anything from the beginning, my friends, and now you know that. Looking back, hindsight 20/40, hindsight 40/40, you know that, my friends, and you just got to be a little bit better. But then at the same time, my friends, it takes risk to get a reward. So at the same time, on the other side of that token, my friends, bet on yourself. That's all I got to say, and that's all you need to hear right this moment. I love you guys so much. Thank you.